Welcome back, everyone. We're diving into something pretty fascinating today, the link between your heart and brain, and get this, how getting them in sync can actually boost your ability to manifest.
Oh yeah, it's really cool stuff.
We're exploring all of this based on Anisha's Substack, Zaria's Substack. She dives into this whole concept of the heart and brain working together as a power couple, for manifestation.
And it's funny, a lot of people think manifestation is just about like positive thinking, right? But Anisha takes it way deeper.
Deeper? How so?
Well, she argues it's about getting your heart's intuition, your mind's focus, and your spirit's purpose all on the same page.
So it's not just like wanting something really, really badly. There's a deeper alignment that needs to happen for things to actually manifest.
Exactly. That's where this whole idea of heart and brain coherence comes in.
Okay, so coherence. For our listener, what exactly are we talking about when we say heart and brain coherence?
Basically, it's about getting your heart rhythm and your brainwave patterns to sync up. When that happens, it creates this harmony throughout your entire system.
And why is that so important for manifestation?
Think about it this way. Your heart, it's the center of your emotions, right? Your deepest desires, your intuition. It's like this energetic compass pointing you toward what your soul truly wants.
So we're giving the heart more credit than just pumping blood.
Way more. Anisha actually describes it as a powerful energy center, with its own intelligence.
Interesting.
And when it's in sync with the brain, the seat of your thoughts, your conscious intentions, that's when you create this incredible force for making your desires reality.
Okay, I'm starting to get it. But how does this heart-brain coherence actually work? How does it actually help you manifest things?
Anisha breaks it down into 3 key ways. First, there's emotional alignment. She's really big on the idea that cultivating positive emotions, gratitude, love, joy, it's not just about feeling good.
Yeah, it's got to be more than that, right?
It's about sending a powerful signal out to the universe.
So attracts but on an energetic level.
Exactly. By embodying the vibe of what you want, you become a magnet for it.
Makes sense. What's the second way?
Mental clarity. When your heart and brain are in sync, your mind gets calmer, more focused, less cluttered with worries and doubts.
So it's quieting all that mental chatter so we can hear our inner wisdom more clearly.
Exactly. And that clarity is key because it helps you make decisions and take actions that are actually good for you, aligned with your highest good, instead of being driven by fear or just acting impulsively.
Okay, so coherence helps us align with our desires emotionally and make clear, focused decisions mentally. That's 2. What's the third piece of this puzzle?
This one's super interesting. Anisha calls it an amplified energy field. And this is where it gets into the science of how our hearts can actually impact the world around us.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued. Tell me more about this energy field.
So studies have shown that the heart creates a powerful electromagnetic field. And you can actually measure it, several feet away from the body.
Wow, seriously?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And Anisha says that when we achieve heart and brain coherence, this field gets even stronger. Imagine it as a giant antenna broadcasting your intentions out to the universe.
So it's not just our thoughts and feelings, it's this actual energy we're putting out there.
Right. It's actively shaping things.
Yeah.
She even mentions this research from the Heart Math Institute that shows how heart energy can actually influence the physical world. They've done studies where it affected things like random number generators.
No way, that's mind-blowing. So this isn't just wishful thinking. Our hearts actually have a tangible impact.
Absolutely. That's what makes this whole concept of coherence so powerful. It's bridging science and spirituality, showing us that our inner world has a real effect on our outer reality.
This is all fascinating, but how do we actually cultivate this heart and brain coherence? Does it just happen naturally, or are there things we can do?
Great question. And luckily, Anisha gives us some very practical steps to get there. You don't need years of meditation or anything crazy. She outlines a simple 3-step technique that anyone can use.
Okay, I'm all ears. Let's dive into those techniques and see how we can tap into this incredible power.
All right, so the first step is all about bringing your attention to your heart space. You can even put your hand over your heart to help you connect with that energy center.
So physically anchoring yourself in that feeling.
Exactly. Then you focus on your breath. Anisha talks about slow, deep breaths, and she says to imagine you're actually breathing through your heart.
Visualize the breath flowing in and out of your heart center with each inhale and exhale.
Yes, you got it.
So we're combining that focused attention with deep breathing to create the stillness in the heart. What's the next step?
Okay, so now we start to bring in some powerful emotions. Anisha says to choose a positive emotion, like gratitude, love, compassion, or joy. Think of something or someone you're really grateful for, or someone you love unconditionally.
Tap into those feelings that naturally make your heart feel open and expansive.
Yes. And don't just think about it. Actually feel it deeply. Let those emotions wash over you. Really feel them expanding in your heart.
So we've got the focused breathing, the heart awareness, and now these elevated emotions all mixed together. What's the final step?
This is where we direct all that potent energy towards our goal. Anisha says it's not enough to just wish for something vaguely. You've got to have a clear, specific intention in mind. Like, visualize what you want as if it's already happening.
So it's combining that heart-centered energy with focused thought and visualization.
Exactly. And the key is to hold on to those positive feelings in your heart while you're visualizing.
Yeah.
It's that combo of thought and emotion that creates the energy to attract what you want.
This is way more than just positive thinking or wishful thinking. It's about aligning your whole being, heart, mind, and spirit with what you want to create.
You got it. And what's really cool is that this isn't just a one-time thing. The more you cultivate coherence, the easier manifesting becomes.
Like we're building a muscle, the more we use it, the stronger it gets.
Exactly. And that strength helps you manifest not just material stuff, but also experiences, relationships, opportunities, even states of being that are truly good for you.
This is powerful stuff. I'm really curious to explore how all of this plays out in real life. How can our listener actually apply these techniques to their own lives and start seeing results?
That's a great question, and we are definitely going to dive deeper into that.
So we've been talking about this whole heart-brain coherence thing and how it can like supercharge your manifestation abilities. But you might be thinking, okay, how does this actually work in real life?
Yeah, it's one thing to, understand the concept, but it's even more important to see how it translates into real results. And Anisha gives some really cool examples in her Substack about how it goes way beyond just manifesting, material stuff.
Right. Like a new car or a bigger house, that kind of thing.
Exactly. She talks about how heart-brain coherence can help you attract like supportive relationships or a deeper sense of purpose, or even just a more peaceful, joyful way of being.
So it's about aligning with your highest good, which can manifest in so many different ways. It's not just about getting what you want, but about getting what truly serves your soul's growth.
Yeah, you got it. Anisha actually shares this personal story in her Substack about a time when she was like desperately trying to manifest a specific job.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, she was doing all the things, right? Visualizing herself in the role, feeling the excitement of getting the offer, but deep down there was this like nagging feeling of unease.
So even though she was doing all the right things, something felt off.
Exactly. And when she really started to explore those feelings of unease, she realized that the job, even though it looked perfect on paper, wouldn't have actually let her express her true creativity and passions.
So it would have been like a step backward on her path, not forward. That's a good reminder that sometimes what we think we want isn't actually in our best interest. And if we're not careful, we can end up manifesting things that don't actually serve us.
That's so true. And that's where the wisdom of the heart comes in. When we're in that coherent state, we're more likely to make choices that are aligned with our soul's purpose, even if those choices, look different from what our ego might be pushing for.
It's like coherence gives us that ability to really discern between what we think we want and what our soul truly desires. We can tap into that deeper knowing and make choices that actually lead us to fulfillment.
Absolutely. And Anisha says this can show up in all areas of life, from our careers to our relationships to our creative pursuits. It's really powerful stuff.
So how can we practically apply this? How can we start to make choices that are more aligned with what our heart truly wants?
Well, remember those 3 key aspects of coherence we talked about earlier.
Emotional alignment, mental clarity, and that amplified energy field.
Yeah, those are our guideposts for making decisions and navigating challenges. Let's say, for example, you're feeling stuck in a job that's just draining your energy.
Ugh. Yeah, I think we've all been there at some point.
Right. So instead of, complaining or feeling resentful, which is just feeding those negative emotions and attracting more of the same, Anisha suggests shifting your focus.
So instead of dwelling on what we don't want, we shift our attention to what we do want, even if it's just a small part of our current situation.
Exactly. So you might start by focusing on the things you are grateful for in your current job. Maybe it's the stable income it provides or the skills you're learning.
Or the relationships you've built, yeah. So even in a not so great situation, we can find those little sparks of positivity to focus on. And by doing that, we start to change our energy.
Right. And as you cultivate those feelings of gratitude, you're also tapping into that second aspect of coherence, mental clarity. As your mind becomes calmer and more focused, you might start to see new possibilities that you hadn't noticed before.
It's like clearing away the fog and allowing new opportunities to come into view.
I love that. It's a perfect way to put it. You might feel inspired to update your resume or start networking or even explore different career paths altogether.
And as we take those inspired actions, we're also amplifying our energy field, sending out that clear intention of wanting a more fulfilling career.
Totally. It's a beautiful cycle. It all starts with our inner state and then ripples outward into our reality.
It's so empowering to know that we're not just victims of circumstance. We have the power to shape our reality by consciously cultivating this heart-brain coherence.
Absolutely. And remember, it's not just about our careers, it's about every area of our lives. Whether you're looking to manifest a new relationship, heal a physical ailment, or simply cultivate more peace and joy, these principles of coherence can guide you.
This is inspiring, but I have to imagine there are times when we hit roadblocks or face challenges. Does Anisha talk about how coherence can help us navigate those tough times?
That's a great question, and she actually offers some really insightful advice on how to use these principles when things get rough. Coherence isn't about pretending everything is perfect or bypassing the challenges. It's about having the inner strength to face them with grace.
So it's not about avoiding the storm, it's about learning to dance in the rain.
I love that. So well said. And Anisha gives us some real tools to help us do just that.
So it sounds like even when things get tough, this whole heart-brain coherence thing can really help us ride the waves. What else does Anisha say about that?
Well, she makes a really good point that when you're hit with something difficult, it's so easy to spiral, get caught up in the fear or doubt or even anger.
Oh, yeah, totally.
But reacting from that place, that negativity, it just creates more resistance.
Right. And we've been talking about how attracts, so you just end up attracting more of that same yucky energy.
Exactly. And Anisha stresses that this doesn't mean you have to pretend everything's fine or bury your emotions.
Right. It's okay to feel those things.
It's about acknowledging them, but then choosing to respond from a place of empowered awareness, not just fear.
So it's okay, we see the storm, we acknowledge it, but we don't let it completely take us over. We can stay grounded in that heart-centered space even when things are rough.
Yes. That's a great way to put it. Anisha actually talks about this time when she was facing a major financial setback.
Oh, wow.
Instead of, freaking out and going into scarcity mode, she made a conscious decision to shift her focus.
So even in a situation where it'd be easy to panic, she chose a different path.
Yeah, she did. She took some time to connect with her heart, breathe deeply, and focus on gratitude for what she did have.
So powerful.
And she affirmed her belief that she'd find a way through it, that the universe would support her.
It's like she was choosing to trust, even when things felt uncertain, shifting from, feeling like a victim to feeling like a creator, recognizing that she had the power to change things.
Exactly. And it's amazing because by shifting from fear to trust, she opened herself up to receive the support she needed.
Oh, wow. What happened?
A job opportunity totally out of the blue came her way.
No way.
And she was able to navigate that financial challenge with more ease than she thought possible.
That's such a powerful reminder that what's happening inside of us really does shape what happens outside of us. When we face challenges from this coherent, heart-centered place, we're not just making things easier emotionally, we're actually changing the energy around us, bringing about real shifts in our lives.
You're so right. And Anisha reminds us, this is a practice. It's not about being perfect, never having negative emotions. It's about strengthening that coherence muscle so that when challenges come up, we have the tools to handle them from a more empowered, heart-centered place.
It sounds like this goes beyond just, manifesting our dream lives. It's about approaching all of life, even the tough stuff, with more grace and resilience and trust.
Beautifully said. And remember, Anisha points out that this isn't just about us individually. When we cultivate this coherence, it impacts others too.
Oh, yeah, I was just thinking about that. If our own heart energy can be measured feet away, imagine what happens when more and more of us are doing this coherence work. What kind of world could we create?
Right. It's a beautiful thing to think about.
It really is. So for our listener, after this amazing deep dive, What's the one thing you want them to take away from all of this?
This heart-brain coherence, it's real.
Yeah.
It's not just some woo-woo concept. It can truly change your life. And it's not just about feeling good. It's about aligning your whole self, heart, mind, and spirit to become a more powerful creator.
I love that. And I hope everyone listening feels inspired to try out the techniques we've talked about today and see what happens. See how this practice can transform not just what they manifest, but how they experience everything.
It's been amazing chatting with you about all of this.
Thank you so much for being here. And to our listener, thank you for joining us for this incredible exploration into the world of heart-brain coherence. We'll see you next time.